The autobiographies of Richard Branson, Felix Dennis, Anita Roddick, and Howard Schultz show that passion is the basis for building great companies, such as Virgin, The Body Shop, and Starbucks. And that an individual's wish to stay true to their conscience is often a hugely underestimated basis for creating wealth. Though in time they may become part of the establishment, initially it is the mavericks and the outsiders who create surprising, outstanding value. This fact is underscored by management legend Peter Drucker, who notes that entrepreneurs provide new value not simply by doing things better, but doing them differently. All businesses begin small, but Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth Revisited, is a vital reminder to be far-sighted and avoid getting bogged down by day-to-day management. You become an entrepreneur not in order to buy yourself a job, but to create powerful systems that deliver satisfaction to your customers. No wealth can be created without a supportive economic framework, and Adam Smith's famous The Wealth of Nations amply demonstrates that a society in which everyone is free to pursue their own economic interests is most likely to deliver prosperity to the greatest number. Smith's modern heir, Milton Friedman, shows that while government intentions are often good, free markets are a better guarantee of personal liberties. In her turn, Ayn Rand provides a convincing case that capitalism is the only moral system of economic organization, because at its center lies an insistence on personal freedom. Wealth on its own may be obtained by rogue states or corrupt individuals, but prosperity, understood as peace of mind based on material abundance, naturally rests on the assumption of such freedom. More recently, Thomas Friedman has provided a compelling argument that technology is creating a flat world that allows millions more people to compete in the global marketplace. Governments cannot stop this shift. They can assist it by making sure that their citizens are well educated and well connected. Manage it. Strategies of personal finance and investing. It's wonderful to make money, but even better to be able to keep it. Whether you have a windfall to invest or are a regular wage earner, socking away a little each month, the titles in this category show you how to make the most of what you have. David Bach reveals how the habit of paying yourself first can make a person of modest means into a millionaire, thanks to the power of compound interest over decades. While Stanley and Danko's The Millionaire Next Door provides a remarkable portrait of the quiet wealthy, who get that way by living within their means and investing their savings. What is the best form of investment? Apart from your own business, if you have one, the best returns seem to come from either stocks or real estate. Regarding the stock market, legendary investors Warren Buffett, Benjamin Graham, and Peter Lynch all stress the difference between long-term investing in companies and market speculation for short-term gain. The small investor may be best off putting their money into an index fund that simply buys a piece of every listed company in a market, which ensures that they have a stake in their country's business growth. Prosperity investment can also be a surprisingly easy route to wealth, particularly if the investor takes the long view rather than looking for quick returns. William Nickerson wrote the original real estate Bible in this vein, and McLean and Eldred provide a contemporary, comprehensive recipe for attaining riches from poverty. In an era of record levels of consumer debt, however, many of us need to jump the first hurdle to become solvent. There is a wealth of excellent titles in this area, with Gerald Mundus's Manual on Becoming Debt-Free still perhaps the best. As a former bankrupt, David Ramsey's advice on the pernicious effect of debt on families and how to regain prosperity is also valuable. At a more holistic level, Dominguez and Robbins' Your Money or Your Life challenges readers to embrace old ideas of simpler living and frugality, showing that controlling your finances is key to a fulfilled life. Share it. The flow of wealth and giving something back. Prosperity is not simply the making and managing of wealth, but also its circulation. If we have been fortunate enough to generate it, as a citizen of Earth and a member of humanity, We have an obligation to use our money to heal or inspire. As Lynn Twist argues in The Soul of Money, based on her work as a global fundraiser, not only the recipients but the givers are healed by active philanthropy. Hoarding money only stops the flow and tends to corrupt the possessor or their descendants. Andrew Carnegie believed that a person who dies rich dies disgraced, and in his huge charitable endowments provided the model for modern giving by rich individuals. Joel Fleischman's masterly work on foundations reveals the massive amounts of private money now being set aside to help address the world's ills, much of it from entrepreneurs who wish to bring the passion and focus on results that allow them to succeed in business, to addressing social problems and opening up opportunity. A living embodiment of this attitude is Chuck Feeney, a duty-free goods retailer who, inspired by Andrew Carnegie, renounced his massive wealth to spend it on worthwhile projects around the globe. If prosperity means anything, it must include the poorest of the poor. Muhammad Yunus won a Nobel Prize for his creation of a bank that provides very small loans to women who dream of becoming economically self-reliant. His fascinating book relates that ultimately it is not charity, but simple things we take for granted, like access to finance and ownership of property, that are the basis of wealth and well-being. We also cannot continue generating wealth at the expense of our planet, and Hawkins' Natural Capitalism stresses that genuine prosperity means taking as much care of our natural capital as we do of our financial capital. A final word. Before you begin listening to these commentaries, please note, at the end of the audiobook will be a section called Prosperity Principles, which distills some key points from the 50 classic titles. You may find it a useful recap. Also at the end is a list of 50 more classics, which may provide you with ideas for further reading. And readers of this book can receive a bonus. I will be delighted to send you a free extra book commentary if you simply email me at tom@butler-bowden.com. The book in question is a personal favorite that has sold millions of copies and, as long as you keep an open mind, provides a secret means of unlocking your potential and bringing you real prosperity. Some practical points. Some themes recur through a number of titles. Take this as a sign that the ideas they address have proven themselves over time. Other books in the list may appear to contradict each other. Only you can judge which approaches or strategies are likely to work best for you. Many of the 50 titles have American authors. The United States has always placed great emphasis on monetary wealth and gloried in the entrepreneur, and as a consequence has produced much of the best writing in these areas. The link between spirituality and wealth is partly a legacy of the U.S.'s Puritan roots, which continues today through its copious writings on the mental and metaphysical aspects of abundance. In truth, though, the themes are universal and will have the same impact wherever you live. Many titles covered were written after the year 2000. While insufficient time may have passed for them to be considered classics, they stand out for the quality of their ideas or information that is likely to be valued for years to come. Some commentaries do not have separate biographical boxes, since they contain a reasonable amount of biographical material within the text itself. A number of the books are now in the public domain, meaning that in many parts of the world their copyright has expired. You are also invited to visit www.butler-bowden.com, where you will find further prosperity resources, plus a wealth of free material on the key writings and ideas relating to personal success. The idea for this book emerged from an earlier one, 50 Success Classics, which explored many of the great writings in personal achievement and motivation. Take a look there for commentaries on titles such as Benjamin Franklin's The Way to Wealth, George C. Clason's The Richest Man in Babylon, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and Wallace Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich. Also included were stories of some famous wealth creators, including Andrew Carnegie, John Paul Getty, Michael Dell, and Sam Walton. When listening to the stories of financial or business success in this audiobook, you may begin to think that the same can't happen to you. It can. This book aims to remind you that others experienced similar fears and doubts, and yet broke through them. Life constantly tests us to believe that we live in an abundant universe, and if we do believe they will, then remarkable things can happen. In times of doubt, think of the acorn, an ancient symbol of abundance. This seed of the mighty oak begins growing only when its tree reaches maturity. Prosperity always involves an element of time. Nothing great is achieved overnight, and all things begin small.